A man takes the same bus every day. One day, he notices a woman reading his favorite book. They never talk, but each shared glance tells a story that could have been. Every morning at exactly 7:15 a.m., Daniel would catch the same bus. It was part of his routine, a quiet moment between his small apartment and the tall glass building where he worked. He liked the early morning calm, the soft hum of the engine, the quiet city streets, and the familiar faces that never spoke. People sat in the same seats, wore the same tired expressions, and stared out the windows as if searching for something lost in the distance. Daniel was one of them, quiet and unnoticed. But he didn't mind. He found peace in the silence. One Tuesday morning, everything changed. He was sitting in his usual seat, third from the back, near the window. It was raining gently outside, and water drops slid down the glass like tiny rivers. He was staring at them when he noticed someone new. A woman had taken the seat across the aisle from him. She was young, maybe around his age, with dark hair tied in a low bun and a soft, thoughtful face. What caught his eye, though, was the book in her hands. Not just any book. His favorite book. It was an old paperback copy of The Shadow Between Us, a novel he had read 3 times. It wasn't very popular, not the kind you'd find in most bookstores. Seeing her reading it felt like finding a secret in plain sight. Daniel's heart beat a little faster. He wanted to say something, anything, but the words got stuck in his throat. He looked at her, then quickly looked away. The woman didn't notice him, or maybe she did. She was lost in the pages, her lips moving slightly as she read. Daniel found himself watching her when he thought she wouldn't see. Her eyes followed the lines of the text with such care, like each word mattered deeply to her. It was a look he knew well. He had read that book the same way. The bus ride ended too quickly that day. She got off before him. As she stood up, her eyes met his for a split second. Just a glance. But something about it stayed with him for the rest of the day. That night, Daniel lay in bed thinking about her. Who was she? What was her name? Did she ride this bus often? The next morning, he got to the stop early. His heart was strangely nervous, hoping she would be there again. And she was. Same seat, same book. This time, the bookmark had moved forward a few pages. Daniel smiled. He wanted to say, "That's my favorite part," or "Isn't that chapter amazing?" But again, the words never came. Days passed. Then weeks. She kept coming, always reading. Sometimes it was a new book. Sometimes it was the same one, reread like a comforting memory. Daniel began to feel like he knew her, even though they had never spoken. She smiled sometimes at the pages, frowned at others. She would press her lips together when something surprised her. Daniel noticed it all. One day, he brought the same book with him, hoping she would see it. He placed it on his lap, open, pretending to read. Their eyes met again, this time for a little longer. Her eyes dropped to his book. Then, slowly, the corners of her lips lifted in the smallest smile. It was the first real connection. A silent hello. A shared secret. After that, things felt different. They never spoke. Not once. But they began to look for each other. If she got on the bus first, she would glance toward his seat, and when their eyes met, there would be that same tiny smile. If he got on first, he would feel her presence as soon as she sat down. It was a strange kind of closeness, soft, invisible, and powerful. One rainy morning, the bus was crowded. Daniel had to stand. She was sitting near the front, and their eyes couldn't meet. That day, he realized how much those silent glances meant to him. He missed her eyes, her presence. It made him want more. He started planning what to say, maybe something simple. Hi, I like your taste in books. Or, I've read that one too. But every time, his courage failed him. Then came the worst day. She didn't come. Daniel waited, eyes scanning every person who stepped onto the bus, but she never showed up. He told himself maybe she was sick or running late. The next day, she wasn't there either, nor the next. A week passed, then two. The seat across from him felt painfully empty. He kept bringing his book, just in case, but it stayed unopened. He thought about her all the time. How strange it was to miss someone he had never spoken to. But he did, deeply. On the third week, something changed. Daniel got on the bus as usual, heart heavy. He didn't even look around right away. But when he finally did, she was there, sitting in her usual place, her eyes already on him. This time, her smile was wider, and her book was closed on her lap. Daniel's heart leaped. He took the seat next to her, not across, for the first time. The silence stretched between them like a warm blanket. He opened his mouth. This time, the words came out. Hi, he said, voice soft. Hi, she replied, smiling. I'm Daniel. I'm Lila. Their eyes met, truly met, and it felt like the beginning of something new. A spark that had waited too long to catch fire. He nodded toward her book. I saw you reading The Shadow Between Us a while ago. That's my favorite. Her smile widened again. Mine too. That's why I read it twice. He laughed. Me 3 times. They both laughed, and just like that, the silence between them changed. It was no longer the space between strangers. It was the beginning of something. Perhaps a friendship. Perhaps more. They talked softly for the rest of the ride. About books, favorite authors, rainy mornings, and the magic of quiet moments. The bus stopped, but they didn't want to get off. Same time tomorrow? She asked as they stepped outside. Definitely, he said. From that day on, they sat together, still quiet sometimes, but now their silence was full of meaning, full of hope. The bus ride became the best part of Daniel's day, not because of where it took him, but because of who he was with. Sometimes, love doesn't begin with fireworks or grand gestures. Sometimes it starts with a book, a glance, and the courage to say hi.